Hello everyone, welcome to Dikshant classes. Today I am going to teach about the theories of international trade, which is a very important concept for UGC NET commerce aspirants and UGC NET management aspirants, and also some extent to economics background students. First of all, I will teach about the theories of international trade. International trade plays an important role in the formulation of the world economy. One should know how the monetary system works. They related directly to the ability of overseas customer to buy from an international marketer. There are basically two sets of theories of international trade. The classical trade theory explaining how inter-country trade take place, and the theories of international trade explaining the inter-country investment in manufacturing and service activities and the management of these activities. Theories of international trade. It is classified into two categories: classical country-based theories and modern firm-based theories. Classical country-based theories include mercantilism, absolute advantage theory, comparative advantage theory, Hexer-Ohlin theory. Where the modern firm-based theories include country similarity theory, product life cycle, new trade theory of international trade, global strategic rivalry, and Porter national competitive advantage. First of all, we will discuss about the evolution of trade theory. Mercantilism and Mercantilism comes for the period 1500 to 1800. The theory of absolute advantage is given by the Adams method in 1776, where the theory of comparative advantage given by the David Ricardo in 1819. Next is theory of country size. The theory of factor production given by the L.E. Hexer and Berlin Olim early 20th century. It's a country similarity theory. It includes product cycle theory given by Raymond Vernon in 1966 and diamond of national advantage given by the Michael Porter in 1990s. First of all, we will discuss about the meanings of country-based theories and firm-based theories. First is country-based theories. Country is a unit of analysis. Emerged prior to World War II. It is developed by economists. It explains inter-industry trades. It includes mercantilism, absolute advantage, comparative advantage, and relative factor endowments. Where the firm-based theories include, firm is a unit of analysis. Emerged after World War II. It is developed by business school professors. It explains intra-industry trades. It includes country similarity theories, product life cycle theory, global strategic rivalry, and national competitive advantage. First is classical theory. The classical theory is based on the labor cost theory of values. This classical theory states that goods are exchanged against the one another according to the relative amounts of the labor embodied in them. Goods which have equal prices embody equal amount of labor. Adam Smith gives the following well-known illustration. If we the same expenditure of labor, one can kill either one bearer or two deers. Then one bearer will always exchange in the market against two bearers. Thus, the exchange ratios or the prices are determined solely by relative labor cost through their influence upon supply and demand. According to classical theories of international trade, every country will produce their commodities for the productions of which most suited in terms of natural environments, climate quality, soil, means of transport, capital, etc. It will produce these commodities in excess of its own requirement, will exchange the surplus with the import of goods from other countries for the production of which is not well suited and which it cannot produce at all. Does all countries produce and export these commodities in which they have the cost advantage and import those commodities in which they have cost disadvantage? The labor cost theory of values hold goods under the following assumptions. Next is classical theory. The labor cost theory of value hold goods under following assumption. Labor is the only factor. All the labor is of same quality or homogeneous. Free mobility of labor. Every occupation is open to all. There is a free competition between workers. The marginal productivity of labor everywhere is equal to wages. Some of these assumptions are unrealistic. Despite the defectiveness of this theory, the classical economists used this theory to explain the exchange ratio, the price of commodity. Next is mercantilism. The first concept is mercantilism. Mercantilism was an economic system of trade that spanned from 16th century to 18th century. Mercantilism was based on the idea that the nation wealth and power were best served by increasing export and also involved increasing trade. Under mercantilism, nation frequently engaged their military might to ensure local market and supply sources were protected. To support the idea that a nation economic health heavily relied on its supply of capital. Mercantilism is an economic theory that emphasizes self-sufficiency through the favorable balance of trade. Mercantilism economic policies rely on government interventions to restrict import and protect domestic industries. Modern day mercantilist policy include tariffs, subsidization, industries and devaluation of currency and restriction of the migration of trade. Basically, mercantilism is an economic system which comes in the 16th century to 18th century with the idea of that a nation wealth and power were best served by the increasing the export and increasing trades. Nation frequently engaged to the military right to might ensure local market and supply were protected. It is emphasis on the self-sufficiency to the favorable balance of trade. It relied on government interventions to restrict imports and protect domestic industry. Modern day mercantilist policies include tariffs, subsidizing domestic industries, devaluation of the currencies, and restriction on the migration of foreign labor. Next is criticism of mercantilism. The theory viewed trade as a zero-sum game. Gain by one results in a loss by another. And Adam Smith and David Ricardo showed that short-sightedness of the approach and demonstrated that trade is positive sum games or a situation where all the countries benefit. Mercantilism measured the wealth of a nation by stock of the precious metal is possessed. In contrast, today we measure the wealth of nation by its stocks of the human-made and natural resources available for producing goods and services. The greater the stocks of useful resources, the greater the inflow of goods and services to satisfy human wants and increase the standard of living of the nations. That's all today's class. The remaining theory discussed in the coming classes. If you have any doubts from today's class, then you should post a comment in the queries in the comment section. I will surely make videos. Thank you so much for listening carefully.